So late night host Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon, all push conspiracy theory that Trump captured Maduro to distract from Epstein files. Rob, if you got the clips, play it. We'll react to it. Go for it.
If you were wondering how bad these Epstein files are for Trump, turns out they're invade Venezuela bad. This is literally the plot of the movie Wag the Dog. The president gets caught in a sex scandal, so he attacks a smaller country to distract us, and here we are, distracted. On Saturday, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured by Delta Force at their home in Caracas and brought to New York. Trump watched the operation unfold in real time from the bunker in his basement at Mar-a-Lago. You can see there he is with Hegseth and Marco Rubio. This mission was called Operation Absolute Resolve, which is a title that was definitely generated by ChatGPT.
I'll tell you, my response to that is it's a really good warning to comedians and other hosts and other people who do shows that if you go too far down the conspiracy rabbit hole, or if you just get too politicized, and then all of a sudden you're not you're not in the funny business anymore. You're just in the it's politics, and it's It's really a propaganda through comedic imposition. They're imposing their views, and it wasn't funny, and it wasn't particularly interesting, and it's just factually incoherent. Because believe me, if there was anything in those files about Trump, the Democrats had it for years. They would have released it, but you think they would have hid that stuff to protect Trump? No, it would have been out.
Billboards.
So I mean. Look, obviously, all that stuff should come out, but the presumption that there's stuff there, how much more of this is it's people see that Russia was the only two people not involved in the Russia-Trump collusion was Russia and Trump. Everybody else seemed to be colluding. So I think the American people see through that. It's just like when you watch the news, depending if you're watching CNN, you have to go, okay, If politics is war by other means, this is war. So it's just a political warfare. So what are they not telling you? And so in this thing, it's just it's treating your audience like they're stupid or like they're just in your own political echo chamber. And it's like he listens. I mean, I think he's affected by the head writer, who's his wife, who's a liberal. That's
the head writer is his wife.
Yeah, that's way out there.
Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Jimmy Kimmel.
No, I know, but the head writer for what? For the show?
Jimmy Kimmel show.
For the show
is his wife.
Did you see the podcast where he looked like he was a hostage by her over-liberal white anger and bitterness? Oh, of course.
I think it's obviously. Look, Jimmy Kimmel's certainly capable of being funny. I mean, I remember doing.
Really?
I remember doing the show. He was the MC while we did the Hugh Hefner roast 8 days after 9/11, and he was funny. He can be funny. I think when you get so emotionally vested in something, and I just think it's. I will tell you this right now. There's no way Disney's picking him up after his contract expires in April. They will let it expire, and that's it. Disney doesn't want this. Disney shareholders don't want politics. They just want they want entertainment. They want, and why would you want to allow 50 automatically? Take there's 80 million voters that we don't want to watching our show. It's crazy. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a direct question. He was funny after 9/11, so 24 years ago. When's the last time Jimmy Kimmel was actually funny?
Well, I will tell you, you can't really come up with that was a really good zinger. I mean, Jay Leno. You can remember. I mean, I remember his jokes. When he was on, just hey, remember when Starbucks is Starbucks is opening up another 600 Starbucks, and where can they open it up? The only place I can think of is inside of the Starbucks. He would have.
Leno was the best.
He was really the best comedian of his era, and and he was.
But he was fair though. That's the thing about Leno. He'd call out all sides.
All those guys. I mean, Carson and Letterman. They. Let me finish. He
will do that often, and you're fine constantly doing that. Keep going.
No, but they obviously, whoever's in power should go after, but with jokes. And I think traditionally Trump has been thin-skinned about any jokes, but I also think those weren't jokes.
Adam Carolla was here. He was very complimentary of Kimmel. Like he wouldn't say anything bad about Kimmel because he said Kimmel's the reason why he came up and all this other stuff. So he's got.
But I know that him and they diverge. But we have to move. We all have to. We can have divergent views without demonizing each other. And the problem with what Jimmy Kimmel does and what I just saw is it's just a continuation of the demonization of half of America. And well, who's that getting? How is that getting us anywhere?
Right.
I just think it's again, it's just politics for political gain. It's some sort of propaganda with comedic imposition. This is and the idea that the audience is going to laugh. They're not laughing. They're applauding, in the little political echo chamber. I'm telling you, he won't be there after April.
Well, let me read this.
Disney
Let me read this. Rob, is this Colbert? Let's see Colbert, but I want to go to Conan right afterwards, and I want to get his thoughts on Conan. So go ahead and play this one here.
What this means? Those Epstein files must be crazy. I mean, bomb something! Bomb anything!
To me, he's not funny. To me, he's not funny at all. I can't laugh. I don't think I've ever laughed at anything he's done. So
you can stop
and this
it.
is
I
true.
mean, it's,
Trump's New Year's resolution was...
Let me read Conan's, and I'm going to come to you. So Conan O'Brien says, F Trump comics have been co-opted by anger, just screaming. Comedian late night show Conan O'Brien criticizes comics who are more focused on screaming about Trump. Rob, was there a clip on this, or was this... Okay, go for it. Play this.
Some comics go the route of...
Can we raise the audio a little bit, guys?
I'm going to just say F Trump all the time, or that's their comedy. And I think, well, now a little bit you're being co-opted because you're so angry. You've been lulled. It's like a siren leading you into the rocks. You've been lulled into just saying F Trump, F Trump, F Trump, screw this guy, and I think you've now put down your best weapon, which is being funny, and you've exchanged it for anger. And that person or any person like that would say, well, things are too serious now. I don't need to be funny. And I think, well, if you're a comedian, you always need to be funny. You just have to find a way.
Bingo.
And you just have to find a way to channel that anger into a way that is, because good art will always be a great weapon, will always be a perfect weapon against power. But if you're just screaming and you're just angry, you've lost your best tool in the toolbox.
Rob, what do you say to that?
Well, I think that's wonderful. And, Conan's very logical, rational, and a good guy. And also, when he did his show, his monologues were about getting laughs. It wasn't about some political indoctrination through comedic imposition. I keep coming back to that. So he's 100% right. We have to be there to entertain. I mean, when I go and, tonight, when I got 2 shows, I'm there to entertain them. And if I don't make them laugh, I mean, oops, I got to call my kid. She's on her way to school. We're there to entertain. And so, yes, I think you can have a political opinion, but it's just like, Jerry Seinfeld was saying the other day, and we had I talked to him about that at the Saturday Night Live anniversary, 50th anniversary, because he said, I don't believe that there's a woke thing and blah, blah, blah. And I said, there is woke. And he said, absolutely. And he said something like, there's no woke canceling stuff. And he corrected himself, I think, and he said to me, no, I'm saying that there is, but you can find a way around it and still find a way to be funny, which is absolutely true. And he's one of the masters of all time. I mean, for his skill and acumen is he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, he literally is a genius of comedy. And but he's right. You have to find a way to get to it. And so it seems like, Jimmy Kimmel's just in a war. And before his contract expires, he's just going to continue to try to burn down as much and have a fire going. And I just said, Conan's right. Your biggest weapon is come up with something funny. Mm-hmm. And I think there's you have to go after the people in power. And Trump's in power, and the Republicans are in power. But find a way to do it. I find a way to do it that has a surprise to it. And certainly, it's just illogical to think that somehow the Democrats would withhold, really evidence that was, showing Trump
Vinny.
in a bad light. If they had it, believe me, it would be everywhere.
Rob, here's my thing. As a fellow comedian, that's just hack. That's just the joke that everybody. And by the way, it's been going on for almost 10 years. It's a hack. He's a hack. The other guy's a hack. My question to you is, though, Rob, this is a studio decision. I know his wife is doing the writing, and he's in there, and they're patting each other on the back, and they're loving each other. But from a business standpoint, we saw the numbers a couple weeks ago. They've been hemorrhaging tens of millions of dollars. Nobody's watching. They haven't changed any course. He keeps spitting the same rhetoric. So my question is it the donors that are behind the Democratic Party that just want to just destroy? It's just anti-Trump.
Disney, as of this point, does not want the political backlash and will continue the bleeding until the contract's up in April. And then there is no reason financially or a business decision will be to not bring him back. And that's just, I mean, I'm not saying personally, it doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm just saying as if they make a decision to keep him and to redo his contract or give him a contract extension to Jimmy Kimmel, that's going to be a purely political decision based on not wanting any crap from the violent or I should say the virulent and loud liberal intelligentsia. But that same liberal intelligentsia isn't watching the show anymore. Because even they go like, it's not funny. What am I getting out of it? They watched it for like the first week or the first show when he came back. But if they do make that decision, it's not a business decision. They'll be telling their stockholders, we're not making business decisions. And I just think, it's a business. You have to make a decision. And you have to make a decision based on what is going to benefit your stockholders if you're in a business to make money. It's just like if they had a boat. If Disney has 7 cruise lines. They got the 7th one that they released last year. If that wasn't making money, then you take the boat off and you don't do that anymore. So this boat, the Jimmy Kimmel late night show, is not making money, and they got to bring it back to dock and figure out how to make money in that spot. That's it. It's a business decision. It's nothing personal. I mean, I think it's just those shows are going to go away anyway. I just think that's a form that people. I mean, most
You're
people.
saying it's going to go away, like the late night show is going to be gone.
late night shows are going to all be gone. They're not going to have them.
What's going to replace it?
Well,
Anything? Is it going to be like podcasters and YouTubers like Kill Tony?
Yes, you're going to have people that are watching specific shows for them. I mean, Kill Tony is way bigger than all those shows.
That's right.
To exponentially to the 10th power, bigger than them. They have 10 million people will watch each episode, but Tony's there to get laughs, and he's also, I mean, I would say he's more Johnny Carson than any of these late night hosts, and he's a great man. I got to tell you, I have never had anybody in this business kinder to me than Tony Hinchcliffe. Out of the blue, didn't know me, never really met me. He invited me on his show, and thank you, Tony, for having the balls to have me, because I don't get invited to the late night shows. But it's like I'm a comedian. I'm there to get laughs, but I'm not going to give in to the. I want to go the other way, and I have gone the other way because it's more interesting. You want to go against the tide. But then I had against the tide, being conservative. In 2020 was not easy. I had as much as 30 people would get up and walk out for a joke about COVID at that time, or about Biden or something. People would just, and so I had to literally, I talked to John Cleese, who's also, who's a legend. Extremely a legend, but also crazy, over-the-top, anti-Trump liberal. But he's a great man. I don't give a crap of what his politics are. But he said, Rob, I think you should give a warning before your shows. And I went, no, just say, for those of you who are feeling extremely, exceptionally sensitive, those who are trapped in their own political echo chamber, those whose when they hear ideas separate than their own may cause their emotional collapse, this may not be the show for you. And so I did a version of that, and I did it for like 2 years, just before. It was just a warning, because it's like, hey, this is a comedy show. You're going to hear jokes, and they're not going to be what you need to challenge your audience. Right. Otherwise, you're a bore. Right. So you got to challenge, and you got to challenge both sides. So I think that's what's going to make it interesting.
And Rob, how's your relationship with Adam Sandler right now? So I think there was something I read that it was, he goes out of his way to always include you.
That was an AI thing.
So that's not a real thing?
It's all AI. It's so funny because even people like yourself who are pretty savvy, really savvy, that it's still like you believe it because there's these bot farms. That's why it's very important that Elon Musk and Zuckerberg hopefully will put this is made in India by AI, on
Community
the
notes.
thing. So they're not just community notes, but it should say where the country of origin, because India has literally like an AI machine to just throw stuff out there and if they get enough YouTube views, they get money on that. So it's like whether it's China or whether it's Pakistan or whether it's India, it's all fake shit. But no, Adam supports me. He's my buddy. He's my friend. And but at the same time, I think it's a good business decision to stay out of it. Why would you want to? It's like Michael
So
Jordan
Adam is good to you. So you and Adam are good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Michael Jordan.
So
is
that
like,
AI was right that you guys are good.
Oh no, yeah, we are. But like Michael Jordan is like right. Republicans buy shoes too, and it's true. It's like I think why would you want to limit your audience? However, I think it's for me. It was important during the last few years there's something more important than your comedy career or your getting movies, was that this culture was under attack. And I believe, being friends with Charlie Kirk was quite an education. And just, it was indisputable that our culture and Western civilization is under attack. And I would just ask your viewers and listeners to get the book, Douglas Murray's book, War on the West. There's a real attack on Western civilization. And the idea that the United States is just going to continue without our assistance, this incredible experiment in freedom, is an illusion. We need to step up, and it may cost you some money. But when I think about I'm not going to probably, studios don't want to hire me now because I've been so conservative. I would say like the Bill Maher thing. I would say, hey, I've been a liberal. They moved. I didn't move. And then you realize there's an attack on the culture. It's time to step up and protect it. And I really feel like it really was. I mean, when the Biden administration, day one, first thing they did was to contact the White House, to contact the social media outlets, Zuckerberg and Facebook and Twitter, and demand that Robert Kennedy be censored. I mean, that's a fact, and that just goes to show the politicization of our body politic. Now, was not one Democrat stood up and said, "Hey, that's wrong." But the only guy that would step up and go against his party is Fetterman, and he has a brain injury. So God bless him. That part of his brain that died but should happen to the rest of the Democratic Party.
It's true.
But I mean that. I think you have to step up, and our culture was under attack for sure. And I feel like the idea that they're saving democracy. The Democrats weren't saving democracy. They just got rid of Biden because his brain didn't work, and everybody knew, and everybody in the media knew that his brain. He was basically a corpse attached to a car battery for 4 years, and to just get rid of him and just without the vote, just put Kamala in. And as I said, replacing Joe Biden with Kamala Harris is like changing your shirt because you shit your pants. So
Well, sir,
it's pretty obvious.
I'll just say this: Adam Sandler's a living legend. Respect to him. Number 2, The War on the West. Douglas Murray's one of the best books I've ever read.
He's a
because
genius,
it's so true. But to this point about what late night comics are doing with this Trump whole phenomenon, what I would say is it goes deeper than that, because that's pretty much what's going on with half this country. It's not just left to comics. The problem that we have right now is that everyone's so firmly entrenched in their sides, and they feel like they need to defend their team. I got this great question on Connect by this kid Dylan. He's a young Republican in Iowa. He goes, Adam, I've seen your evolution, because I used to not be a fan of Trump whatsoever. I was had the whatever Trump syndrome, Trump TDS. Yeah. I had that 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Trump told me to my face that he hated me. To my face. I just laughed, But I love the guy.
But I have an amazing appreciation. But he asked me this question a minute. He goes, I've seen your evolution. Why don't you just come out and say that you're a full-on Republican now and register as a Republican in Florida? I go, I've always been an independent, and I just thought like a Democrat. Now I think like a Republican. And the reason that I want to stay an independent is because I want to be able to be fair and balanced and unbiased.
But Adam, don't you know?
Everyone
these days
let
me interrupt you,
is
Adam.
so in their echo chamber.
Let me interrupt you like you interrupted me. Adam, let me tell you something.
Well, let me interrupt you.
No, Adam, here's the problem with that. That is what Adam just said is rational and completely a pro-American approach. I'm going to be an independent and vote for what makes sense. But don't you understand? Just saying you're an independent, the Democrats are going to throw you under the right-wing bus and run over you. You know.
Oh, I have zero fear of that because
no. But I'm telling you that they're not playing fair.
Well, of
so
course.
just because you're saying you're an independent, if you're not 100% behind all their radical, crazy shit, then you're going to be thrown into that. Oh, he's a right winger, just like they say that about.
They're the fascists.
Yes, okay.
That's the thing.
So, but I'm saying so you have to. That's the area that we're in. So you know whether you consider yourself a conservative or not, they're going to call you a right winger.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. But who cares? But I'm saying that's what we're dealing with. That's the interpretation. So you know the interpretation is the reality that people carry with them, and is they make their own reality. Unfortunately, it's not accurate. So we have to that's something that needs to be tackled and gone back to. To calming down. Where was the sympathy when Charlie Kirk got murdered? When you had people celebrating
dancing
his death?
on his grave.
They had so you have anybody outside your tribe doesn't get any sympathy or empathy, but people in your tribe get an overarching, ridiculous amount of empathy, and it was a terrible tragedy that I wish that ICE officer would not have shot. I really do.
Vinny, his gear, faith over fear, tens of thousands of pieces. Sold out in a couple weeks. Tell us about Faith Over Fear, Vinny.
Well, just letting everybody know, I appreciate everybody that's getting on board. I saw a guy at the airport that was wearing the Faith Over Fear. I was at a diner, and some guy patted me on the back and was like, hey, what is that all about? And he wanted to know what Hebrews 11, chapter 1 was, and we got into a really good conversation. And I know I always talk about faith over fear being like in the Bible with the centurion soldier whose kid was healed, where Jesus just said, go, because of your faith, it's going to be healed. And the woman that had the bleeding issue that pushed through the crowd, that just touched Jesus's hem of his clothing, and he was healed. So I want people to know that that's back in the biblical days. Faith over fear still applies today. It's it's what starting a business when the numbers scare you, speaking the truth when silence feels safer. Fear waits for comfort, and faith moves with conviction. You guys can go on there right now. We have a hat that's coming soon. I don't want to give it away, but you guys can go to, is it FLB?
VTmerch.com.
Oh, VT Merch. Go to VTmerch.com. Guys, we have hoodies, we have hats, rocket, and let people know where you stand.
I love it. Go to VTmerch.com, place your order, buy it for yourself, your friends, your peers.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.